All right, so Zach asks, what is the best way to get better at being active in certain situations? Example, a darce attempt from bottom side control. Once you rotate under the person and shoot your arm through, I find it hard to get active to my legs. What would I need to work on? Good question, Zach. So first, in your example real quick, so you're talking about your bottom side control, you kind of come out the far hip, come out the back there, and there's a darce opportunity there, right? My first thought before we actually address the underlying question is, why exactly are we getting up or looking to get up yet, unless we've already had maybe a bad entry or their weight is already kind of not where we expected it to be anymore, things like that. Because you totally can finish that darce belly up. There's a point where maybe if you have a bad connection or their weight is distributed somewhere else, by the time you've locked something up, that you do need to get up. But I think this kind of gets to the heart of the question and the heart of the answer, right? It's like there's no all kinds of all things like this really come down to your timing, your leverage, and your ability to like read in real time, like read the situation and transition and make adjustment accordingly, right? So your timing, your leverage, and also your connection, right? If you have poor timing, then by the time you've shot out the back there and you've started to cinch up a darce, by the time you get that darce locked up, maybe their weight's no longer forward, right? Maybe their weight's already readjusted to their hips. They've got a good base back. That darce is, as far as I know, going to work best whenever they're off balance, their weight's coming forward, right? Because now as I pull that in, I can continue bringing that momentum and bringing that weight forward, and I can finish that darce belly up. So timing can play an aspect there. Leverage can play an aspect there, right? Which is kind of related to connection. But if they're, depending on your hip positioning, right, and what kind of connection you have, and where their weight is, you may just not have the leverage to really break their posture any further. And these are all interrelate. It could be because of your timing, because of your connection, et cetera, et cetera. And then connection-wise, are you actually connected to them? Are you, do you have a deep lock? Are you connected to them with your head, your shoulder, your chest? Like, the more connection I can create with them and maintain with them, then the higher percentage chance that I'm actually going to be able to affect something. Whether that's getting that darce in that situation, or it's just maintaining my connection to them as I realize that darce isn't there for any reason, because their weight distribution, whatever. But having a connection to them allows me to adjust in real time and correct, right? If I don't really have a connection, let's say their weight's going back. If I'm not connected, well, then I'm just on the bottom still, right? Or we're kind of scrambling. If their weight starts shifting back and I'm really well connected to them, then in a way they start to help pull me up, as long as I go with that momentum. That's just an example in the darce, right? But like the underlying principle that I think you're really getting at is, like, we need to be able to read the situation and from first principles make adjustments, right? So first principles being, do I have good connection? Do I have leverage? Where is their weight right now? Where is my weight? Where am I mobile? Where can I affect their balance and their weight based on where they are right now? Those are things that are always, like, those questions are always going to have an answer in any given situation, and that's really all we can work from in these situations, like, at least as far as I know today, right? My understanding, the way I think about these things is, like, jiu-jitsu is extremely dynamic, very chaotic. There's an infinite number of positions and kind of edge cases and things that could happen in any given situation. But the solutions, the path forward, always comes from these core principles of jiu-jitsu, like connection and leverage and balance and weight distribution. Like, if I understand these concepts and I can ask these questions, sometimes at lightning speed, right? Like, these are the questions that will produce the correct responses. So hopefully that's helpful. It's not, you can't just have a specific, it's impossible to have a specific answer for every specific situation, because this is just an infinite thing with two people resisting each other. It's extremely dynamic. Anything can happen. But working from first principles, working with heuristics like that, you can always filter down to figure out what is a thing I could do, a good thing I could do. What is a bad thing I could do right now, right? If I'm heavily connected to someone from that darce, but their base goes back towards their hips and they get really strong, and now their shoulders are starting to square up towards the mat, I don't really have an ability to break their posture down and get them, like, really start to affect strangulation leverage, right, with my belly up. If I am asking myself these questions in real time, then there's definitely things that would be bad to do. One of those would be nothing, right? Because if I do nothing, as they rebuild that base and they have their posture now and they have a good strong base that's square with the mats, there's really nothing keeping me attached to them if I don't move my hips at all. It's just my lock fighting gravity. And now, as soon as they refire, I'm fighting gravity plus their body weight. So asking those questions of where's their balance right now, where's their weight, where's my connection, how good is my connection, do I need to drop it and go somewhere else, can I improve this connection, where am I mobile, figuring those things out in real time is really how we develop the path forward. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have other questions, please let me know. I'm learning too, so I reserve the right to update my response in the future, but that's my understanding of how I would tackle something like that right now.